Hello, and welcome to this episode of Books I Read with My Cat. I'm your host, Val.
I'm Allison.
I'm Courtney.
And we're so excited to have you here with us for this episode. Woo!
Especially this episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. The first book club episode of our show. Woo!
Book club, book club.
Club.
Don't
Book
chant at me.
Book club, book club, book club, book club.
Yeah, so how's everyone doing?
I'm actually very lovely.
Pretty good.
Allison, you have spring break coming up. You're probably super excited.
Yes. There are words I would like to use for how excited I am, but I'm holding them in. And let me just say, tomorrow,
Incredible.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. This week has been the longest week known to man. So, and we have not just a whole moon, we have a blood moon tonight. So tomorrow they're going to be insane. So,
yep.
Oh no.
Because that's a real thing. That's not a lie. They're crazy.
Bouncing off the walls. They got that blood moon energy, you know.
The children are crazy.
They are.
I'm actually going to wake up for it. I'm really excited about it.
Nice.
I want to, but then I have to go back to sleep and wake up 2 hours later. So
dang,
fair.
Yeah, that's tough for sure.
I'll take pictures.
Yeah.
How was Val's day?
It was good. Got some stuff done. Got some groceries.
Ooh, today I was off, and it was a very relaxing, a lovely day. I spent this afternoon outside.
Wow. What'd you
Ooh.
do?
So Alex played golf, and I just rode along with him in the golf cart while I read my ebook.
Nice.
Is this his spring
Did
break?
he not have school?
Yeah, this is his spring break. He's been on a week.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, that's fancy. I didn't know it was his spring break.
Yep. And then this weekend
Explains
he's going
the picture
going out of town.
why he was there, and with Danny holding the money.
Yep. That was so funny. So Danny we have a little stool that he likes to sit on, and then Alex just has some cash on him, and sometimes there was one other time a couple years ago we gave Bella $100 bill and she like put it in her mouth and like walked away with it. So now there's like this joke that like the cat's like money. And so Alex got Danny to hold the cash while he was sitting in the stool, and I got like the cutest pictures of him just looking up at Alex being like, "Look at me, I'm doing so good. Aren't you so proud?" And yes, we are proud. It was like a whole lot of cash too. It was just really funny.
Yeah, I couldn't tell how much it was. It looked like just like a 20 or something.
It was at least $15. So it was at least a 5 and a 10.
Okay. So it was cash money.
Yeah, it was like another 10, I think, maybe in there.
Okay.
And then we tried giving it to Bella, and then she didn't want anything to do with it. So I think she only likes $100 bills.
She's
yeah.
fancy.
She bougie. Yeah.
Yeah. She needs those hundreds for cat things. Don't ask questions.
Things.
Don't ask questions. Yes.
Oh my.
Bella is mysterious.
What that money do?
What do my cats get into when I'm not here?
That's for them to know and you never to find out.
Oh, I love my kitties.
You don't know what I see when I come over when you're not home.
Is that right?
Yes. I don't send you pictures because it's not my business. Anyway.
I'm excited.
Back to the podcast.
And also, Danny's 9 years old. He had his birthday.
Leo is turning 9 years old in a couple weeks. He's so old.
They're so old.
I can't believe they're 9. And also that our cats were born like 3 weeks apart from each other.
I was about to ask, I know it's like super close to Danny's birthday, but I forgot like when Leo's is.
It's the 26th
of March.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're even like, they're the same month too.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're like just a couple weeks apart.
Mine is like the little old man in comparison to your cats.
I know.
Yeah.
You've got an old man and an old lady.
Yeah. Double your age.
True. No. Well, that's good, because Grizzly's gonna live forever, and that means Leo and Danny are gonna live forever.
Oh, 100%.
He is immortal.
Yep, they're immortal.
Yeah, exactly. No questions asked.
So,
They're absolutely immortal.
Yep.
It's part of their money laundering that we don't ask about.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is.
So they're laundering the money to elongate their life, and every dollar is another bone, which bones, as you know,
my God.
are their money.
This sounds illegal.
This is why we don't ask questions, Courtney.
This is why we don't talk about it, Courtney.
Oh no.
It's their
Rip.
business, not ours.
It's true.
So what antics have your cats got into this week?
Literally earlier today, I was working in the office as one does, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and then when I came back, I hear her meow, and I was like, what was that? And then Terry was just sitting up on the top of the bookshelf, staring at me.
Like the tippity top?
Yeah, the top of the bookshelf, right next to my Mickey phone.
Oh my God.
He was just sitting up there. And I was like, what are you doing? He's not supposed to be up there. But I think it's because Leo was up there. Yeah.
Oh.
Leo was up there very shortly before. Like, when I got up to go to the bathroom, Leo was up there. So I think when I was gone, Terry bullied him away.
That something like that has happened with my cats too, very recently.
Yeah.
They get jealous. They're like, no, that's my spot now.
I think Terry just wants to be anywhere Leo is, and Leo doesn't like his personal space invaded.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily Terry bullying him out of his space. I think Leo's just voluntarily leaving because he doesn't like to be touched by Terry very much.
Well, in Leo's defense, Terry tends to choose violence afterwards.
Yes, correct.
It always devolves.
It's like the video I sent you.
Yes. Exactly. That's 100% of their interactions is Terry and Leo will clean each other, cuddle for a little bit, and then Terry just needs a little snack and needs to bite. And then Leo's like, I'm out. I'm gonna see myself out. SpongeBob meme.
Oh no, rip.
But other than that, they've been top citizens of the week.
Oh,
Very
that's
nice.
so good. Role
Very
model
nice.
citizens is what we all want.
Yes.
The gold star.
Terry did try to eat some package paper, though. Like, a box had some paper inside of it, and Terry was trying to eat it and also fight it at the same time, so...
You know, sometimes you just crave paper. It just happens.
He also craves plastic and cardboard. He's our special boy, but I love him.
It sounds like normal cat behavior, because all three of my cats will chew on all of those objects. So, all of those items.
Maybe Leo's just the weird one then.
I was like, mine don't do that at all.
Yeah.
No?
Bella just she's a serial Christmas tree eater though.
So is Leo.
We actually decided to finally take it down because she barfed from eating too much of the flocking on it the other day.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, first she scarfed and barfed, but scarfed and barfed into her bowl. So of course she doesn't want to eat her food because there's barf in it. And so she decides to eat the tree instead and then barfs from that.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
I know, Bella. I'm talking about you again. I'm sorry. I totally just like threw her under the bus in this episode.
Yeah, you did. Frank and Ollie love the plastic bag, any kind of plastic. They will munch on it as they don't eat it, they just chew on it. They like gnaw on it. It's really weird. And then Grizzly is a fan of the cardboard boxes.
See, Leo's favorite things to like munch on are twisty ties, like the little like yeah, he likes to play with those, eat them, and edamame shells.
Specifically edamame shells.
Specifically edamame shells and lettuce.
I mean,
what's
a healthy choice.
Leo?
No, he doesn't like eat the edamame shells. He'll like put them in his mouth and like munch on it a little bit, but he never like swallows, and he mostly just plays around like hockey with it around the house.
That's incredible.
So I don't know. My cats are weird.
Frank, she really likes anything that comes in a little plastic baggie. So like a fortune cookie or like those little packaged crackers. If you have those anywhere in the house, she will find them. It's like she goes and searches and she just feels a disturbance in the force.
Oh
She
my
knows
God.
they're there. And you just find them in the house, plays with them. She kicks them everywhere, picks them up, runs around. Like that's her favorite toy. And all you just hear is the
She could probably hear something we don't.
Yeah.
She could probably hear the little baggie. And
Yeah.
we're just like, yeah, she'll never know, but she knows.
She knows. You can't get it past her. You just find it. You're like, I thought I threw that away. No.
That's funny. Yeah, Terry likes any pieces of paper to play with too. Like any like small piece of paper. Like if you shred something or like like the packaging, like little strips of paper, the really tiny one, like the decorative one.
Or like for Easter baskets and whatnot.
Yeah. His favorite thing ever. He'll dig in it, he'll like sit on it, make a mess. So it's not allowed in this house.
Get that. I heard that.
What tea are you drinking?
I'm drinking the very last of my Wisteria blueberry pie tea. And it's very good. I'm very pleased. And of course, with my blueberry honey.
Nice.
That sounds great.
I need more.
I've got passion tea again today.
Passion tea.
I need to look through
I need
my
to try
tea
that one.
stash. You do. I have some. If you want to try it soon, next time you're here.
I think I shall.
It's good.
Do it.
It's good. I need to look through my tea stash because I keep defaulting to my passion tea, but I know I have more.
I'd say you got a lot of tea, I thought.
I do.
Am I thinking of Courtney?
I have an entire shelf of tea and spices in my pantry.
Yeah, I need to restock on some of my teas because like I've been running out from doing this podcast and of like the one like my favorite ones, right? Like I still have tea in the cabinet, but I might not be craving them or they're black tea because I accidentally bought black tea and I will never let myself live that one down.
You liked it overall though.
Oh no, it was still pretty good. Just not at like 6, 7 o'clock at night when we record this.
Yeah, no, that's not great. I think that's a bulk of my tea also is caffeinated tea.
Yeah.
Man. I was about to say when Allie's down, we need to go on a tea adventure.
Yes, I'm always down for a tea adventure. And on that note, I'm breaking our rules. And I'm not drinking tea.
What?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. And on that note of caffeine, I am actually drinking a nice cup of hot coffee.
You know what? That's bean water. It's fine.
At 7:15 at night. So,
Oh.
It's been a week.
Yeah, that tracks.
Need caffeine.
It's almost spring break.
Fair.
So I'm like, let me just. It's fine. So
fine.
Yeah, I'm drinking a nice cup of coffee with some cream and some sugar.
Nice.
In my cup that says "not a morning person." So
Yep,
that's so
it's
true.
true.
That's so you.
My tears of my enemies one was dirty. So this is the other option.
That's good.
Really good. Very good.
Next time you'll have that tears of your enemy's cup, I'm sure. It's a good cup.
I will. Great cup. They're my favorite shape.
Yeah.
For cups for for coffee mugs or teacups. I don't know. Everyone has a favorite shape mug, but
I'm using my mug that my friend brought back for me from the Beijing Paralympics in 2008. Has little cows on it because that was the mascot for the Beijing Paralympics. Very cute.
Oh, need to see that because I don't think I've seen that before.
I'm using my teacup that has thistles on it, which I usually use when we're recording this. Sometimes I change it up, but the only other one I use is like another easy one to reach, and I don't have to like dig through the cabinet.
Yeah, I get whatever hands me. Sometimes it's crap, sometimes it's this mug. You got it for me.
I love that crab mug. I mean, I just love it in general, though. I'm not biased or anything.
It's a good mug.
I have to say though, a mug that Allison made for me back when she took ceramics in college, I still use that one to this day if I'm gonna heat something up in the microwave. Like if I'm gonna make like a quick hot cocoa or something. It is the best mug. It is the correct like water portion size. That way it doesn't water down. And I can hold it afterwards after zapping it for 90 seconds. The other ones, like the stuff you buy from the stores, doesn't do that. It's so hot to the touch. This one, I can
Nice.
just grab it. It's great.
High quality. You're welcome for that. But most of mine from college are in my storage unit right now. I need to get them out because they are good.
There might be a cat fight in this room
Uh-oh.
in about 30 seconds. Yeah. Oh no, Bella, no. All Danny did was walk around to this side of the bed. He didn't even jump up on it yet. Oh, now he's gonna go after her. Now, and I can't do anything about it. Oh well, they're fine.
What are you guys reading?
Because I didn't discuss this on the podcast last time because my phone wasn't broken when we recorded it, but my phone broke for like 5 days, and I couldn't really catch up on my ebook slash audiobook, so I'm still reading those. The Parable of the Talents by Octavia E. Butler and Take a Deep Breath by L. Taylor. And then, Allison, you already know this, but you can still be proud of me. I'm reading Onyx Storm.
So proud.
Yes.
Can't believe you're finally doing it.
Woo! Have you found out about broccoli yet?
No, I actually didn't read
Dang
any
it.
Onyx Storm today because I've been trying to catch up on the ebook.
Yeah, is that from the
Okay.
library?
No, it's the
yeah.
ARC
Ah, okay.
one.
Okay. I'll forgive you.
Thank you.
I feel like it's
You're welcome.
easier to read from your phone on the golf course anyway.
Oh yeah, and honestly, it was super quiet and
Yeah.
like it's like there's just birds tweeting, and Alex is just he's outside the golf cart just taking practice swings, and I like look up and chat like every once in a while. I'd probably say I was reading about 50% of the time because I was just like watching, observing, and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, the ebook was perfect for doing what I was doing today.
Yeah.
That's good. What are you reading, Allie?
I am still reading my nonfiction, the one about mitochondria, power, sex, suicide, mitochondria, and the meaning of life by Nick Lane. Still very good. I will say it's on the brainy side. I like your term for that, Courtney. It's definitely on the
It's on the
brainier
brainy
side.
side.
It is. I haven't had to think about most of these terms since, so I'm like having to like really think. I'm going back to microbiology with this book. So it's very interesting. It's really good, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, what does this mean?
Yeah, a lot
So,
of terms.
taking me a second, but it's very good. Yeah, it's really interesting. So I about 50% of that one I think
That one
is
seems like your vibe.
it is. I love it. I just like I said, I have to really my brain's tired when I listen to it.
The
Yeah, that's not
brain.
an audiobook you can really relax with.
No, it's not. Though I will say I do go to bed listening to it.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you just bookmark it, and then if you end up falling asleep, you just backtrack to where you last
Yep.
remember. So
Smart.
yeah. And then I'm reading called Blink by K.L. Slater. Audiobook. It's a mystery thriller. I've listened to a lot of the books from her, and they're like a simple, not
Ooh.
simple, but they're like a lot of her stuff has like a formula. So it's a fun
Mhm.
read. I like them a lot. I know I'm not being very descriptive with it, but
That's okay.
I like it. It's good. It's a short read. And then I'm reading a new fantasy called The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. I love it so far. It has a really it has a really interesting like magic thing where like the main person, Lore, so like in this place where they're at, they have stuff called mortem, which is the magic. So like post-mortem, like death. It's death magic. And you find this out within the first chapter, so I'm not really giving anything away. But Lore can detect and use this magic a lot more than others around her. So it's really interesting, and I don't want to give too much away, but I think you guys should read it. It says it's a romance, but I've not yet encountered that. I'm only about 20% through though. So I like it a lot. It's fun.
I'm adding Foxglove King to my TBR. That's now at over 90 books.
Oh my goodness.
I picked this up because I was at Barnes and Noble, and I saw the second book, and I was like, this sounds really good. And I'm looking at him like, this seems like a second book, not a first book. So then I had to find the first book. So I hate falling in that trap when you buy the second book and you're like, no, where's this isn't what
Like,
I thought.
oops.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. So
Nice.
yeah. What about you, Val?
I'm adding Foxglove King to my TBR. Give me a second.
Oh.
Nice.
Is this one that we might all read?
Maybe. It sounds interesting.
Possibly.
It does.
Anyway, I am reading 2 books currently, and one of them is not a Brandon Sanderson book.
Wow.
I know. I am reading We'll Prescribe You a Cat by Soyu and she. I'm gonna need help there.
It's Soyu Ishida.
Sure. That one. And I'm also reading Interabled True Love Stories or True Stories About Love and Disability by Shane and Hannah Burcaw.
Yeah, you're reading it now.
Are you liking that one so far?
I am.
I know you talked about it last time.
Yeah, the Interabled book is a lot of short stories or interviews with other couples and stuff like that. And each chapter has a slightly different format, or maybe not every chapter, but like each couple has a different format that they have in the book. So that's kind of fun. Some of it's like interview style, some of it is short stories, some of it's a conversation between the couple and Shane and Hannah. So it's good so far. I'm only about 20% through.
And I have noticed that you did not say Wind and Truth. So does this mean you finished it?
I finished it over the weekend. I did.
Finally.
I know.
And within your predicted time frame, quarter 1 has not ended yet.
It's true. I finished ahead of schedule. About a week or 2.5 weeks ahead of schedule.
Excellent.
So, yeah, and I think that means it's time for a 5-star alert.
It does.
Woo!
5-star alert. I have one.
Let me guess.
Do you? Oh, I'm shocked.
It's Wind and Truth.
It is. It's very true. It is Wind and Truth. I didn't want to put any spoilers anywhere on like Storygraph or anything, so my like text part of the review I put into Storygraph was 2 words. Holy moly.
I'm gonna make sure that makes it to the 5-star alert side.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Yes. Allison, I know you're working towards reading it. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it because I really enjoyed it. There are a lot of great character growth throughout the entire book. A lot of new characters introduced. It was really good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very happy I read it.
That'll be soon for me. Probably after I finish.
Yeah, Val, I'm glad your heart is happy now.
Yeah.
And then we'll hear Wind and Truth weekly from Allison.
Yes, you will. I'll take up that mantle.
I'm passing the torch to you.
It shouldn't take me too long to finish Foxglove, and then next week I know for a fact I'll be reading the new Hunger Games book, but then after that, yeah, I'll take up the torch.
Oh, yeah, that's coming out soon.
Next Tuesday? Wednesday? So
they seem to release on Tuesdays. Like books.
Yeah. I remember we talked about this last episode because you were like, oh, it's spring break. I could read my book uninterrupted.
Yes, I'm so excited.
That's right.
That'll be good. Does anyone else have 5-star?
I do indeed.
Allison, you should go first.
It's the whisper. I have a 5-star.
What is it?
I'm not going to tell you now because you're yelling at me. No, it's Junie by Erin. Sorry. It's Junie by Erin Krosby Eckstine. Amazing book. And everybody should read this book. It's so good. Like, just the whole premise, like, it makes you really think about life and just everything. It's so good. I have a few, like, quotes from it. I'm not going to read all of them. It made me, like, makes you think. Like one of them, so one of the characters is a pianist. He's also enslaved, but he loves to play the piano. And then the main character, she really likes like the outdoors and poetry. So she's an enslaved girl and she knows how to read because the person she's the maid for taught her because they're the same age in that, right? So they're very artistic and stuff, and they're having this discussion about sublime. So like the topic is what you see in the sublime, and it's like, what's good in finding the sublime when you can't touch it and you can't taste it and you can't hear it? You just have to sit there looking at it like an old painting. I wonder if there's more to it than that. What's on the other side of sublime? And like because where they're at, like, they're enslaved, they're not like able to, they can see it, or they can, like, they have an idea of what it is, but they can't yet experience it because they're being held back by the society and everything. Like, it's a really thought-provoking story, and just the story in general is excellent writing, very good character development. They talk about grief and love and just so many different things. This one's kind of a sad one, but it's also really good. Sorry, I'm going to read more quotes. It says, "Grief feels like the strongest tea you've ever tasted, so bitter and sharp you don't think you'll ever be able to swallow. But that every day another drop of water falls into that cup, and it gets a little bit easier." So,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
I love that.
So,
that's a great quote.
Yeah.
That is a really good quote.
And it's like I said, it's an amazing story. I highly recommend it for everybody. So, and to cap that off, I'm going to finish with a funny quote that I found hilarious as a teacher. They're talking about parents saying nice things about their kids. And it says, "Parents have to say things like that. They're required to see the best in their children. Otherwise, living with the little sociopaths would drive a person mad." It's great. It's a really good book. So definitely 5 out of 5. Would read again, honestly.
Incredible.
I loved it.
Nice.
I have another 5-star, but we're going to discuss it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, but we're going to discuss it, so.
Oh. Yeah, that's why I wanted to go last, because I'm like, it'll be a great segue, because my 5-star is Tress of the Emerald Sea, and we're about to find out why it's a 5-star.
Yeah.
Well, that's my second one, so proceed, Courtney.
You like how I did that?
I do like how you did that. Pass the torch. Proceed, milady.
Topic of the week. So it's book club episode, so we are going to get into spoilers, but I figure we start with a little spoiler-free little chat, and then we'll make a big disclaimer, like, spoilers, please, like, if you haven't read it and you want to read it, like, stop listening.
Now, please.
Heard that?
Yes.
Gather your belongings.
Just zoom on to the very end.
Proceed to the exit.
High level, what do you guys think? I know it was both of you. You both had 5 stars for it.
I loved this book so much. And I think I was, like, really gripped on it from page 1. And it's just because of the narrator.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just so funny. And I liked how personable it is.
And he's hilarious.
It was like he was right there telling the story to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the narrator Hoyd is quite funny. I really like that. He was the one that told us the story, and like it wasn't super over the top, but he did. I like that narration, or that like framing device to have.
Did you guys read the postscript thing at the very end where Sanderson was like, "I wanted to use this story. I wanted to do a full-length story told in Hoyd's voice because someday I'm gonna write Hoyd's backstory. Not that I know who he is per se, but that's why like this book is written as Hoyd as the narrator."
Oh, okay. I probably did read that, but I read this, I don't know, last summer.
Yeah, you did. September? No, you read it in July.
No, I read it. It says I finished it on October 8th of last year.
So maybe you did it on the North Carolina flight.
Yes, probably. Yes, absolutely. Actually.
Yeah, because it says I wanted to get fluent and practice that writing from his viewpoint.
That makes a lot of sense.
Nice. Yeah.
But the tone will be different because he wanted to be more whimsical in this version.
Yeah.
Yes, I really like how playful he is with this book, and very lighthearted. And I really think that, like, if you've never listened to or read a Brandon Sanderson book, I think this is a great jumping off point because it's not super lore heavy. It's not super character heavy. There are a good handful of characters in this book, but there's not an overwhelming amount. And like you're not like, who is that? Who is that?
Right. There were only like a couple of Easter egg stuff that I noticed. Not that I know them as Easter eggs, but more of like, I don't know what any of this means and I feel like I should. So this is probably an Easter egg.
Makes sense. There are.
But it wasn't really impactful on my reading.
It's important if you know what it's connecting to, but it doesn't take away from the story, hinder you from understanding.
Exactly, yeah. You kind of know, like, oh, that's a pull from another series or another book or something, but like it doesn't impact your overall enjoyment of the book, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I love his voice, like just his personality, how it shines through in his narration. Like he's such a maniac. Like he's amazing.
He is.
I know. I can't wait to get to the spoiler section so I can be like, this is why Hoyt is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's so many times I'm just like, what is he saying? Like, what in the world is his thought process here?
I wrote some of his quotes down that I can read them later, just because they were hilarious.
What is this? And just the way he the way he portrays Tress throughout the story, I like it. Like it's just like, I don't know. He makes it kind of enchanting. I don't know if that's a good word for it. Like it's just very, very fun and very.
It is.
Yeah, enchanting's a good word for it. I know this was one of his secret projects, so during 2020, during all the lockdowns, he wrote this book and a couple other books that he brought to his publisher, and we're like, surprise!
Yeah, he was saying in that post thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I kept it off the cloud.
Yeah, he did. I was listening to a different podcast and they interviewed this author and it was talking about how like her process with Kickstarter, especially as a self-published author, it's a way to generate pre-sales and how Kickstarter has really boomed in terms of publishing. So I guess when she was doing her Kickstarter, Brandon Sanderson was also doing his Kickstarter for these projects and he ended up supporting her Kickstarter, so she sent him some stuff. It was like maybe 4 book projects in total at the time on Kickstarter, and so he funded all of them. Not completely, but he funded. He funded each one.
Yeah, he supported them.
Yeah, he supported them.
That's amazing.
So
that's awesome.
It was like that was so exciting to send something to Brandon Sanderson because she had to fulfill the order.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really
cool. Once again, that's why I like authors who are likable.
Yeah.
It makes me actually want to read their stuff.
Yeah. Something else that I learned when I was doing just some looking around for this book was based on the Princess Bride movie.
Mm-hmm.
Inspired by, not based on, but
right,
inspired by
storytelling, how it's like a fairy tale for adults kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
I can kind of see the parallels there.
Me too,
for sure.
Good book. Good book.
Highly recommend.
Yes.
5 out of 5. Stars.
Are we ready to get into the spoily part?
I think so. So, fair warning, spoilers are going to be from now on. On the YouTube video, we'll have chapters, and then I'll also pop back in and just tell you when the spoilers are over. So, if you're leaving for spoilers, see you on the other side.
Yeah, and if you're not, if you just are lazy, you don't feel like reading the book yet, and you don't care about spoilers, that's cool too. But if you haven't finished the book yet, goodbye.
Come back soon. Come back once you finished the book.
And that's the beauty of the podcast. You could just stream this episode whenever you're ready.
Exactly. You can just press pause or resume, come back. This is Val popping in from editing. If you want to listen to the rest of the episode without any spoilers, come back at 1 hour, 11 minutes and about 30-ish seconds. All right, so spoilers. So Hoyd.
It's happening.
Yes. It's happening. Okay, here's
Hoyd.
Favorite Hoyd. It's from page 121.
That's me flipping my book.
But as Tress didn't have any marmosets, I wasn't interested in the moment. Marmosets. Another one I liked was, I once ate an entire rock. Had to fight off his family first, though.
It's on the same page.
Yeah, it
as
is.
the marmosets.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I have more.
I see.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do. I have your document open. But
You're
yes.
creeping.
So I am.
Yeah, I think this is a Hoyd quote. I'm honestly not sure. I have it written down with absolutely no reference for where it is in the book. How does a foreman make a sleepwalker take a union mandated break?
Yes, that sounds like Hoyd.
I think that's part of narration portion.
Yeah.
But yes, that is still a Hoyd quote.
On my notes, it's wedged between a note where I have chapter 41 and 54, so it's in between those sections. So
okay,
somewhere in there,
I know that one was
I'm
good
like,
too.
okay.
There were so many things in just the narration that was like, oh, here's some actual like writing tips that's from Brandon Sanderson through Hoyd.
Yeah.
I felt that a couple times, especially with like character development. It's like, and I'm like, oh, dude, he's giving me some writing tips. That's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a really interesting perspective to have a character that's in the story be the narrator, and
that's not first person, technically.
Right, it's not. No, it's not. He's telling it from like a bird's eye view, because he can get in the thoughts of like Tress and all of the other characters, Chuck and or Huck, not Chuck.
That's what they try saying, and it comes out Huck.
He tried saying Chuck, and it failed.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, and I like that Hoyd was like, "Oh, the people that don't matter, they're just Doug."
Yeah,
Doug.
I love the
everyone is
the
Doug.
Dougs.
Everyone is Doug. Yes.
If they are not important to this story, their names are Doug.
Oh,
correct.
From page 71 to 72, he says, "Once a society reached peak Doug, it's time for it to go sit in the corner and think about what it's done."
Honestly, I think we've reached peak Doug right now.
We have. Yes.
Peak Doug. That's so true.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the oceans and the non-spoiler part, but like the non-water oceans were so cool.
It took me a second to like figure out like how they worked, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's like the real life concept of fluidization. If there's like enough movement of a lot of things, whether it be sand or like glass, or I guess sand is glass, but you know what I mean, like little things. yeah, like little glass orbs or something that can be an ocean and acts like water when air is being pushed through it. So you know how like the spores stop moving at some points, and that's when the air is stopped being pushed up through it. And that's why why it's so dangerous, really, because with water, yes, there is certainly weight, but with non-water oceans, like the things are solid, so solid that you can't really swim through it. Like a still ocean, you can still swim through. That's just a pool.
Yeah.
Right.
But with like non-water oceans, you're just gonna be crushed. It's like physical matter, you know.
And I had like so many like physics questions to just be like, well, what happens to all the vines and stuff? Like as I'm like reading it, right? Eventually find out. But like what happens to all the vines and spines that like form because the water dripped on it, and then like they just sink to the bottom. Do they just sink? Do they eventually just wash up on shore? Like what happens? But you know, apparently they just sink to the bottom.
Yeah, they sink to the bottom.
But how do they? Yeah. Has anyone ever been down there aside from the people from the dragon, but they can never come back up?
Well, apparently Ulam and Hoyd can just walk along the bottom of the floor. They mentioned that. So he's like, oh, if y'all get stuck or whatever, we're just gonna walk ourselves to the next island. Like dude.
For what? And of course, that brings me to like other points about like Ulam, who is my favorite character. I loved Ulam. It was I was like so confused on like on what he was. And I don't know, it's just because I haven't read another Brandon Sanderson. Because at first they tell me he's a zombie. I'm like, okay, all right, sure. And then second, then he's a shapeshifter? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I was so confused. But I was just like, you know what? I bet this is something I need to find out later.
But I was gonna also say, like, in the middle of one of his sentences about Ulam, he's like, in parentheses, person, question mark, thing, question mark? Like, yeah.
I do want the nose that's not able to smell cheese, though.
Of course you would.
Yeah, I would take that. I would take that nose. I would take his deal.
You would take that nose?
I would.
I mean, cheese does. It's not a great smell, so I mean, I don't really blame him for that. Even good cheese doesn't smell good.
What do you mean? The stinkier the better,
Oh,
except for
that's so
blue
gross.
cheese.
Cheese is disgusting.
Blue cheese is gross. But like a good stinky Parmesan, so
no.
good.
Nope.
So good.
You can keep
Maybe
that
that's
stuff
the
over on
Italian
you.
in me.
I'm Italian
I
too.
will decline. I am
I
not
love
Italian,
stinky cheese.
and I disagree. So, you
Give
know.
me. It's okay. More for me.
Oh, I'll eat the cheese. Don't get me wrong. Give me all the cheese, but I'm not going to smell it.
We don't like to smell it.
No.
Like, no thanks.
My family's from Ohio. I mean, we can eat some cheese. So, yeah.
So like the first thing I noticed about this book, like literally by chapter 5, the trope is a Snow Queen tale. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the actual Snow Queen, not the frozen one, but basically
Yes.
a boy and a girl are they're like best friends or love each other. It really depends on the version of the story because it also depends on their age. But one day the boy gets glass stuck in his eye and it's from a magical mirror that makes everything look bad and ugly. It's kind of like a curse. So he kind of falls out of love with Gerda and runs away with the Snow Queen who keeps him captive. And then she has to go on an adventure to rescue him. So I'm like, yeah, this is a Snow Queen story, which is not a dig or anything, because like one thing that writers know is that like all stories have been written before, and especially in the 21st century, it's really hard to create a brand new trope. Most things are already written, like a Romeo and Juliet or a Hamlet version or like a Cinderella story. Like we all know these. So like I was just like really fascinated that I'm like, oh, this is a Snow Queen tale. That and I couldn't wait to see like what more. Well, Snow Queen is my mom's favorite story, so like,
okay,
I'm very familiar with it. I mean, there's like other things like that happen in it too, but like those are like the really basic parts that are connected with both of these stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that he didn't really like follow a lot of the common tropes. Like it's not a damsel in distress. The damsel is going to save the king or prince.
Yeah, correct. I loved that. He was just annihilating tropes like one after one.
He really was. And I really like he makes a point in it about like the heroine is actually considering their actions. Like she's not just jumping to a conclusion. He spends a whole like section, like a whole page talking about like people need to be like reconsidering their assumptions and think about what they're doing, and this character is making that time and actually thinking through something. Like what a concept.
Right.
So
at some point I felt like she did it almost too much.
That's fair.
Like she was too hesitant, but I think that it and ultimately paid off, especially when she was on the first ship, the Utstream.
Yeah, Utstream.
Yeah, the like hole opens up and the like ocean's not moving, so she could just like literally walk out and goes to the crow's nest. So she was like, well, this is my time. So she grabs Huck and tries to get help from the crow's nest.
You mean the crow's song? You mean the
crow
ship,
song?
Right?
Yes. The ship.
And like the other trope that I loved was that she decided she wanted to do something, aka save Charlie, and asked her parents for help.
That's true.
Like
she did ask for help.
She asked for help, and she told her parents, like, I have this problem. Help me. Because she realizes she's young and doesn't know how to do anything. Because she's been sheltered on this island forever.
She doesn't just run off into the night.
I do like that it was kind of a flip of the romance story as well.
Yes.
Like,
so it's like a gender bender. It's kind of what's happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, romance was part of it. Like that was a big part of her, like her motivation to go save him. But it didn't feel like it wasn't like the whole story. Like, it didn't take over the whole tale. Like, she was in love with this guy, but she's trying to save him, but we're not spending all this time all mopey dopey. You know what I mean? Am I
like
making a good point?
pining
Like,
over him.
she's not pining. She's like, I know I like him. I know I love him. I need to save him. Let's go do this, and I'm gonna figure out how. Like, and there's no like major time spent on woe's me.
That's the type of romance that I like. I like romance where it's not the entire story. It's not the primary focus of the book, right? It's the motivation, but it's not the primary goal of the book.
Yeah.
It is a nice refresher, like, for me, since I do enjoy romance, like, the genre.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, not everything needs to be a romance either.
Just exactly,
like, not every pop song needs to be a romance. And that's, like, so hard to write somehow.
How do you really feel, Courtney?
Let me tell you. That could be a whole nother podcast.
Music I listen to with my cat.
Yeah. Like, the last trope that I loved that Sanderson completely annihilates is that Tress never condones death. Where, like, a lot of, like, fantasy characters, especially, like, badass ones that, like, we know from, like, Rebecca Yarros and Sarah J. Maas, like, they're also, like, really cool people, but they're like, yeah, I just don't mind slitting this guy's throat just because I can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Tress, like, she's like, I do not want to do this. It will be the absolute last resort.
Yeah, she took extra care to not permanently harm someone.
Yes.
You might maim them a little bit, but
yeah,
nothing
that couldn't be fixed by Ulam.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
It was good. I don't know. I really like the ending, especially. Like, Brandon Sanderson has a pretty common thing of, like, towards the end of the book, just like everything ties up really quickly. They call it the Sanderlanche.
The what?
What? I didn't know this.
Yeah. So, like an avalanche.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he, like, avalanches all of the stuff, so they call it the Sanderlanche.
Yeah, it literally was, like, the last 20
He really
pages.
does.
Yes.
He does.
In a lot of his books.
You're just like, yeah, such a good term. Oh my gosh. Because you're just like, over here, over there. That's connecting.
Yep. He does that in a lot of his books. But yeah, he's truly one of the better authors of this, like, generation, I think.
I agree. And I only read this one book of him, but I have been listening to his YouTube videos of him doing his creative writing classes, and I just learned a lot about him, especially from reading this book. And I'm like, yeah, no, this guy knows, like, what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why he's like a bestseller.
Right. It's a reason why he has, like, what, 20 something books out there, and they're all very thick, for the most part, extremely lore heavy books.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to commit to that, but enough people do that it's, like, bestsellers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, like, I know it seems like a large commitment, but, like, get your feet wet.
It's really, like, honestly, this is such a great introduction to it, because you can see how he builds the worlds and how he builds the characters in his stories, and you get to really, like, know and kind of understand them. So then if you do eventually try out one of his bigger books or one of his other connected books, you already are going in knowing his writing and knowing his style, and he's an excellent storyteller. So yeah,
he is.
I think that just the way that he connects everything, and, like, the reveal of Huck being Charlie was just so well done, and that not only did breaking Charlie's spell free Charlie from the dragon, I forget her name, but it also freed Whit.
Oh, like her actual name? Hang on, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
The sorceress, I think, was her code name, right?
Yes. Yeah, okay. No, she was known as the sorceress.
Do they say the sorceress's actual name?
Yes, they did.
Is that what you're saying?
Did they?
They did. Well, there is a name that Hoyd, like, refers to her as. Rina. Riina.
Yes.
Where is that?
Page 357.
I didn't go far enough. as you said, the last 20 minutes of the book.
In dialogue, Hoyt says, "Hello, Rena." I don't know if that's even how you say her name. I said,
It is, yeah.
Oh. "I hope your last few years have been exactly as lovely as you are."
Yes. So breaking Charlie free of his spell also freed Whit from his. So that's why Hoyd kept saying, "You have everything that you need." And I really like that Tress realized that Hoyd couldn't say specifics about like how to break his spell, but she figured out that he could say other things that weren't about breaking his spell.
Yeah,
So
like
she
doing
was
the
able
opposite.
to kind of play. Yeah, exactly.
The wild thing is, though, is that there was one point where the clue that Hoyd gives is that find a person who isn't a person and can talk when they should not. But if you realize, like, yeah, that's Huck. Like, Huck should be the person that Hoyd should talk to. But then, like, we never see that scene. We never see them actually, like, Tress picks up Huck and brings him to Hoyd to, like, figure out, like, and let them, like, chat in private, and Huck reports back, like, what he's learned. That, like, never happened. I was, like, I thought that would happen. So I was a little sad about that. But, I mean, Chuck and Hoyd did interact with each other towards the end. Like, they were conspiring.
They were conspiring, but they didn't let Tress know about that. And Huck was the one that ruined their food supply, and they couldn't quite make it to the Midnight Sea at first. And then Tress was like, "No, I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go find my love."
But he was right there.
He was right there the whole time. He was right there. They could have been canoodling the whole time.
That's sodomy.
Yeah, that gets into something. That gets into bestiality, but you know.
That's a whole other discussion.
Like, I love that Tress's fear evolves throughout the book. I guess her bravery evolves throughout the book, because at first she was, like, deathly afraid of spores, but then acknowledges that she doesn't know much about them, but she was just taught to fear them. And then over time, it develops to, like, a healthy fear, which is, like, a caution kind of thing, and then she's like, "Yeah, these things are dangerous, but I'm just gonna use them." I loved that character development so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good, yeah. Like, I feel like not only did Tress evolve, but, like, all of the characters really did.
They really did. And maybe not as, like, to the same, like, ratio, but they still did.
It's
I
true.
my favorite side character on that note is Fort.
He's precious.
'Cause he is. He's so yes. 'Cause he went from, like, this big, almost, like, scary guy, you know what I mean? Like, the scary dude she's trying to hide from and sneak around.
Yeah.
So, like, he's like a papa bear. He's like
He is.
I don't know.
He is.
He's just so, like, he wants to take care of it, like, everything, and just, like, I don't know. He's so sweet, but also, like, badass.
He
Like
is.
like,
Yep.
It's true.
I mean, I feel like that's a safe word for but, like, I don't know. He was very sweet, very kind, but also just, like, I'm not gonna take any crap. We need to make sure we're being safe. We need to do all the right, that precautionary side, but also let's do this and
Like, his need to hunt, which is trading.
Yeah.
Obtaining the best trade.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is so silly, but I love it.
It's great. Like, what can you give me?
Like,
So
dude, it's fine. Like, nope, gotta trade.
Like, we are just having a conversation here. There's no need to barter. Like, this is what people do. He's just like, nah, bro. Give me something.
Yes.
I love him.
I liked it.
I was also very thankful that Soleil existed. Am I saying her name right for audiobook listeners? Soleil. Although she's so flawed with the insistence that Tress is a king's mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tress is like, I'm not one. It's like, nope,
That's true.
You can't tell me that you are. It's like, well, I'm actually not. So
I'm not lying. This is not a lie.
Not a lie. Our friend Porter took that first passage and realized it connected to another series called The Traitor of Baru Cormorant by Seth Dickinson. And they're a huge fan of that series. So they're like, oh, there's like a reference to the series here, whether it's purposeful or not. They were really excited about it.
They were very, very excited.
Found another really funny quote.
Ooh, what is it?
I don't remember exactly what it's referring to, but it says, people feared it. They didn't reach out to touch it. It was basically like a salami, standing up and trying to jump into your mouth. It isn't that you don't like a good salami, but you should at least have to work for it. Also, there was the mind control. Like, just randomness.
Oh,
I literally just was flipping through
so
the
good.
pages and I saw the salami and I'm like, I remember that line and it was ridiculous.
Oh, one of my favorites. It was like page 35, and I was like, oh boy. A terrible idea executed brilliantly has to be better than a brilliant idea executed terribly. I mean, look at pelicans.
Yes.
Just pelicans
It's
are
true.
breathing. It was so random.
And just like his randomness at the end, mentioning the computer. What does he say about the sorceress and her tablet? And he's like, "Oh wait, no, not a tablet.
I mean,
the magic board.
Yeah.
It's not a computer." Like,
I loved that so much.
like just referencing the outside.
Yeah, I like that laptops are canonical in the Cosmere.
Yeah, because I envisioned like this being. I didn't realize it until like literally maybe the last page before the epilogue was that, oh, it's a rocket ship, like that the sorceress is living in, and therefore like it's pretty modern to like what we recognize for laptops and surveillance cameras and sterile, like what we think of as sterile like spaces. Tress was like, this is just beauty, because I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I imagine their world is very full of things and like older architecture and like
Not
medieval
able to keep dirt out or whatever.
Yeah, it's such a good book.
Yeah, it is. And I really like the like different accessibility things that were mentioned in the book, like Fort's board and
Anne's need for glasses.
Yes,
which was hilarious. And I like was like, oh, I'm dumb. Like, I thought Anne's lack of aim was just because like she just never had the time or given the chance to practice something, because there's people who are just naturally talented at a skill, and then there's people who've worked really hard to reach the same level. And I thought maybe she was one of those people that like just haven't had a chance to work hard. It was part of the reason, for sure.
Yeah, certainly some of it was like lack of skill, but most of it was she was just seeing way off.
But she was so knowledgeable about everything, so it's not like she's dumb. She just can't aim because she was blind.
That whole part where she is like, it's like her time to shine. She needs to make this shot, and they're connecting that, oh, it's been kind of learned that I'm a bad shot, therefore I can't do it. And so she's like having that like internal struggle of like, I can do it. I've just been like whatever to not be good at this, but she just has to have that practice, like we were saying, and like get used to the glasses maybe, and have more confidence. Like there's so many things. Like,
yes,
that whole section there.
It's true.
They mention I like the board that he uses, and just everyone, like, it's not even a thought. It's just like, yeah, he's talking and communicating through this board. It's just like, it's what he needs. It is what it is. Like, you know, it's how he is. And they mention,
right.
Oh, what do they mention? I'm going to use the wrong word. Lip reading. And they're like, you can lip read, but it's really not.
That's another trope that was annihilated.
It's like, it's not really the best way to communicate.
Reading lips doesn't work like it does in stories. Yeah.
There's so much room for error in so many things.
From the book is, reading lips doesn't work like it does in stories. It's a messy business full of guesswork and extremely taxing, even for experts. And it's like, thank you.
Yes. It's such a big point. Yes. Like, I don't know. There's so many things.
Yeah. I think Fort's board would be kind of similar to like an AAC device, an augmentative or alternative communication device, which a lot of nonverbal people use to communicate with hearing people. Or like if they're not able to verbalize themselves, they can press buttons on a screen to type words and have it be read aloud. So I think that's a really cool way to introduce more accessibility into the Cosmere as a whole.
Most definitely.
Because there's another book in the Cosmere. I don't know if you've read it, Allie. Dawnshard. The the primary character is disabled, was paralyzed, and so she uses a wheelchair. And, I think I talked about it on another episode where they made their ship more accessible by having like levers and stuff like that to get around. So I think Sanderson does a pretty good job of introducing disability representation and creative ways that it's integrated into the world.
Yes, I absolutely, because like especially there was no ableism. Well, not entirely, not like in a bullying kind of way. There just was some, like there was a book I read where the character did have to use sign language, and her sister would be like, "Come on, Janie, just try to use your voice. Try to project something. Like it's like, well, no, she actually cannot do that." But like that never,
Right.
like that kind of stuff like never happened in this book.
Right. And there certainly was some ableism when like Fort doesn't have his board, for example. Like he
Yes.
can't communicate, so he's shunned from the world. He can use his lip reading skills, but like as literally said in the book, it's taxing and it requires a lot of guesswork.
So that I had one question. Well, I have a million questions, but one of them was, why on earth do they inhabit this planet full of things that could kill them easily?
Why not?
Like, how did this inhabitation happen? You know what I mean?
I mean,
like, did the moon just appear and just start pouring spores everywhere, or did like humans come and it was like, oh yeah, this looks nice?
I mean, who's to say they didn't evolve on the planet like we did?
Still, though, it's kind of like how? Because
have you seen Earth? How many things can kill us?
Okay, but there's also not covered in spores.
But there are spores
that could easily kill you. It's just there are some, but there's much less.
There are other things that could kill us, like bears
bees,
and
if you're allergic.
Other predators.
Bees.
Sharks.
Okay, that one's easy. Just stay out of the water. Like,
but you can't stay out of the air. Bees.
Unless you go in the water.
Then sharks.
And then you got sharks.
That dark water.
And then shark. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, bruh. Like, who thought? I mean, I guess Brandon Sanderson thought this was a good idea. But I mean, I still really liked the world building in this, and I really want there to be another book like set on this planet, and it does not have to involve Tress at all. Just maybe on the other side where the other 6 oceans are.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. If he is listening to this podcast, please and thank you.
I love that each.
Yeah, no, I really like the world.
I was just going to mention the oceans again. I just love, and going back to the spores, bring it back to the beginning there. Each ocean, like spore, had a different thing. Like one was the vines, one was the little blobby guys that you can spy with, the Midnight Sea, and then I forgot which one was like that quartz, red.
Oh, the rose. It was rose. It was rosite. It was from like the Rose Sea.
Like. I really enjoyed that part.
You always knew exactly what the setting was in the book, and I loved that. There was times where you read other books and you kind of forget that they're like in the middle of Arizona or something, because it's just like in the regular old neighborhood aside from that. Like, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
But this, you always know, like, what the setting is.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the oceans were a villain.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a conflict for sure. I think it's technically a man versus nature.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were obviously the big bad was the dragon and trying to get Huck back. But the oceans created quite a obstacle for them, not only with it randomly stopping and becoming extremely dangerous when it does stop, but even when they are in motion, they could just blow up at any second and like
especially when it like just starts raining and you're like, well, dang. Like they have to avoid rain.
Yep. You're like,
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Like a part of me wondered if someone was controlling the rains and like no one just really understood, like a god. Or maybe the dragon does or something. But I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that's just kind of like nature.
It was just thoughts that like I had popped up while I was reading. You know what I mean? It's like it just seemed like it was kind of like, oh, here I come, gonna boop you. And then, oh, never mind,
get you.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
And they also they definitely assisted though in like you have like you already mentioned this slightly when you have like a normal fantasy, not normal but other fantasy story, you have the map, right? You know there's the different kingdoms and that, so you can place where they're at different times. But then having these oceans have their different, like you already said, the different like things that they do, you can kind of follow it in your head of where they're at on this map. Like you can better navigate the story.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just out in the middle of a bunch of water in who knows where. It's like, okay, I'm in this sea.
Yeah,
I'm in
right.
this sea. You can place it and it just adds more depth to it.
Right. And seas are physically different colors, so that description really helps you understand what's going on, like going around.
yeah.
I appreciated that.
And the oceans are very described. I don't want to say descriptive, but they were described heavily by Sanderson. So it made so much sense. It's like
it did.
Like when like the two blend together, like how they're kind of shaped like an hourglass kind of thing going on.
Yeah. Narrow points between.
It really just helps with the visualization of everything. It's just a good book.
Yes. She said
Good book.
Yeah, she said good book.
Good book.
He's such a good writer.
There was a cat in the book.
There was a cat in the book. But we barely saw the cat.
We barely saw the cat,
don't
but
remember
plus
the
one
cat
to
in the
cat
book.
being in the book.
You get they adopt a cat, or because
Yeah.
I think Crow noticed Huck when Huck was spying like the first time. They brought a cat on. It's like, yeah, we gotta get rid of these
forgot
rats
about that.
in
Yeah,
the
and
middle of
then
the boat.
doesn't Huck make the point? He's like, why would you bring a cat on board just to get rid of one rat? Then you have to feed the cat more than the rat's gonna eat.
It's true.
It's true.
He did make that point.
There was actually 2 cats in the book because the sorcerers had one too.
That's true. The
floofy one.
sorcerers did have a cat.
So I might actually have to
+2
update my
for
tag.
cat.
I need to update my tags on Storygraph. It has cat.
It has a cat?
I wasn't going to because the cat wasn't a very major plot point. But since 2 cats
Now
popped
it's
up,
a major
2 different
point.
ones, it will have the tag. It
It's
has cat.
necessary.
I think it needs a tag.
I do have to say I was very offended while reading this book though, because Mr. Sanderson made fun of people who enjoys meteorology.
He does.
He said, the more meteorologically inclined among you might be wondering about planets' weather patterns and water cycle. Yes, that was me, actually. If you're one of those whom these things are extremely important, you have my sympathies. It's never too late to develop a personality. Like, excuse me?
Wow.
Maybe go to a party.
Incredible.
But try avoid topics like weather patterns and water cycles, unless, of course, you can do it like me.
It's so rude.
I was so offended. So offended.
He came for you.
He came for me in the book. Like I like literally like me and the T-Mobile lady when I picked up my phone went into a tangent about Rather because she is just as crazy about it as me. We're just like,
I love
did you
that.
watch this documentary? Oh, did you watch this one? Yeah. What did you hear about the tornado that was today? Because that was the one from Orlando that had happened.
Uh-huh.
It was like that morning.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We went on and on and on. It was great. I was like so happy to have be talking to someone who is like-minded.
That's the equivalent of me and my rocks. So, you know.
Yes. So I'm gonna remember this, Mr. Sanderson. I'll remember
He's on
this.
your list.
You're gonna come for him.
You offended me in my love for meteorology.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
I liked that her perception of Tress's perception of cups changed throughout the book because it was like her outlet to the outside world. So she never had a desire to go out to see it, but she did wonder about it, probably without knowingly. But then the more time she spent outside, the less she the cups, it brought enjoyment to her. She still liked cups, but she wasn't as obsessed.
Right. Yeah, that's true. She does like a good cup. We were just talking about cups at the beginning of the episode.
We were.
It all circles back. Bring it around town.
The last point I had that I was going to bring up is that I really just physically like the design of the book because Val, I'll need to show you the chapter icons. They change in every chapter. So the like when they're in the verdant sea, a spore falls and then a vine grows around the little circle around the the chapter heading,
Mhm.
and then they're in the Red Sea, and the spikes start growing, and then we get some blobs in the Midnight Sea, and I'm like, bro, you just like flip through them, and you're just like, gross.
Oh my gosh!
It took me about halfway through the book, like literally right, like almost before the Crimson Sea portion, when I noticed.
Look at that! Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
amazed right now.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful book, like physically and metaphorically and literally.
This is so cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
You're welcome.
On the Copper Mind, which is Brandon Sanderson's dedicated like wiki, they have all of the like art uploaded. So like if you read the
Oh, I need
audiobook,
to
you
go
can look
on
at all
that.
the art.
Oh, dope.
So yeah. There are quite a lot of spoilers, so it warns you like every time you like go to the website for the first time, it's like, hey, there's spoilers. So, but it's very nice.
His books as a whole have a ton of art in them. I noticed that when I was looking through one of them, because I listened to them in the store, and I'm like, he has like maps and diagrams, and like just throughout it, there's just sketches of things.
Yep.
I want it, but as we said, I don't have room for it.
I love that.
So.
Well,
not with that attitude, Allison.
Yeah, time to start stacking horizontal.
I would, but I fear that the shelf might fall on me in my sleep. Oh, because they
okay, that's fair.
Both shelves are above my bed.
That's very
so,
fair.
You know, I'd rather not die by book homicide, whatever you would call that.
But
you know what? It would.
That be the way to go? Out of any violent death you could
being buried by my books.
Yep.
That'd be on the tombstone. Buried by books, buried by her love.
It's accurate.
It's true.
All the way.
Book dragging through and through.
To the very end.
The very last.
So that's all the main stuff I got.
Yeah, I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about too. I'm really, really happy that you guys both enjoyed this book and you both rated it higher than I did, actually.
Yeah, we did.
I rated it 4.75. So
this was my 5-star. Yeah.
I know. And you both rated it 5, right?
We did. It was a double 5-star.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That usually had the first one to happen.
I know. Well, I'm glad that I picked a good one, and I got something off both of your TPR, so you're welcome. Cool.
Incredible.
Well, thank you for joining us for our first book club episode. If you have extra thoughts, please send them our way on social media, email us, whatever, however you want to communicate. Put messages into the void. Go to our book club page. Put some notes there whenever you get a chance to read the book if you haven't yet. We have a couple announcements. So the next book club book is picked by our lovely host, Courtney.
Yep. So our next book club episode, our book club book, is going to be Iron Widow by Jiren J. Zhao.
We'll put it in the description.
Yes. I will master that name for sure, just to make sure I'm getting it right. But I believe it's very close to that. Jiren J. Zhao. And I loved this book. It is a sci-fi, technically a YA, but she actually was talking about in her Instagram that she was deciding whether or not it should be marketed as YA or not. It eventually did, because whatever decision, there was just more prints that would accept her genre as YA instead of adult. So, but it does teeter between
a mature
those two.
YA.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've always seen it, and it's been in my head to pick it up one day. So you're kind of forcing me to do that now. So
now you will.
How dare you?
Darn.
I know. You know what? Oh well. Then that episode will be dropping May 30th.
Yeah, so you got a couple weeks, 10 weeks, actually.
9, 10, 11. Okay, by the time this episode airs, it will be 10.
Yeah, so it'll be 10 weeks, because it's 5 times 2 is 10.
Correct. Hey, look at you doing math. That's so
This
correct.
is a reading podcast. I'm just saying, not a math podcast.
That's true. It is a reading podcast and not a math podcast.
No,
thank God.
Hey, I like math, but I don't want to talk about it on a podcast.
I don't either.
Yeah, same. I don't like math. I don't know why I said same. I don't like math.
You disagreed to the last statement. You don't want to talk about it on a podcast.
At all.
I don't want to talk about math on a podcast. That's nerd.
That's
teach
gross.
And if you haven't seen, we have a bookshop.org page with all of our book recommendations. Tress of the Emerald Sea is already on there, but we'll add it to our 5-star list as well. So if you are buying anything from bookshop.org, you can support us by we get a little commission, and you also get to support your chosen indie bookshop. You kind of double dip there. So that link is in the description and also on our website. So we hope that you consider using our link if you're going to buy anything on bookshop.org, and also support your local indie. That's the most important part. And Libro FM, also audiobook, if you want to listen to that. We didn't touch that in the episode, but Michael Kramer is the audiobook narrator for Tress of the Emerald Sea, and he's done quite a number of Brandon Sanderson and others' books, and
he's an excellent narrator.
He's fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, I would say about 98% of the books that we talk about on the podcast are on Bookshop. It all depends on where they're published or if they're even still in print. Like the Tiger one, can't get it on there. Is not in print. You have to buy it used or like on Amazon, which bleh. And there's no audiobook for it. I tried looking.
Interesting.
I think it's just because it's old.
Yeah, older book. That's fine. Not everything has to have an audiobook.
That's false.
Does make it more accessible. More people can read it if there's an audiobook. So
that's true.
Authors out there, if you're listening,
yeah,
I know audiobooks are expensive, but
it's
the
worth
disability community would appreciate it, especially ADHD people or dyslexic people, or really anyone that's not that can't read with their eyes very good or hold a book very good, like me.
Yep.
Anyway,
so good.
Hope you guys had fun.
I had so much fun.
We did it. All right, happy reading.
Happy reading.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Books I Read with My Cat. You can find us on social media at BookCatPod, and if you have any ideas or feedback, feel free to give us an email at bookcatpod@gmail.com. Happy reading!